Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanashalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Manjam Vinati Tika Vande Shri Guru Shri Uttara Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagravatam Vikuntam Sajiva Sadaitam Savadutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Saitam Yadeva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagrada Shri Vishakam Vikuntamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Namami Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 26 through 36. Now we can read the Sanskrit and the transliteration together. Text 26. Atta chayam nitya jatam nityam vam sevritam utapi tvam mahabaho nayam shochitum varnasi. Translation. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament Almighty God. Text 27. Chautasya hi dhruvam dhruvam mrityo dhruvam janam tasya cha tasman api haran api vite arte natvam shochitum. For one who is taking his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Text 28. Avyaktatini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktani nidhameva tathakapalidevana. Translation. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Text 29. Ashcharya pashyati kashchidvina. Ashcharya pashyati kashchidvina. Ashcharya kadati tathaiva charya. Ashcharya pascharya shruti Shutva Yenam Veda Jaya Kashit. Some of the comments, translation, some of the comments wrote the man in his reason. Some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. Text 30. Dehi nityam avadyo yam dehi sarvasya bharata tasman sarvani bhutani natvam shochati arhasi. Translation: O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal, and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any future. So, text 31. Swadharma picha vikshana vikam pituma vikam pituma navikam pituma hasi dharmyati ulashtriyanya kshatriyasya vidyate. Translation: Consider your specific duty as a kshatriya. You should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. Text 32. Yadrichaya chapapana swagapara pavritam sukhina kshatriya varta labhante yudham vitrushan. Translation: O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. Text 33. Atachetvam imam dharmyam sangramanam karishyasi tatat dharma kirtim cha hitva papam vapsyasi. Translation: If, however, you do not fight this religious war, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Text 34. Akirtim chapi tutani tite vyayam samvavitasya chakirtir marana atirichite. Translation: People will always speak of your infamy, and for one who has been honored, dishonor is worth universal death. Text 35. Vayadunam bharatam namusyante bharatam yesham chakram bhumata uvayasyasi madhava. Translation: The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame, you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus do not consider you a coward. And last text, text 36. Vachya valam chavaham vidashvanti tavantara nindantas tava samadhyam. Translation: Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful? Okay, that was the last text. Now we can go back to text 26. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and always dies, still you have no reason to lament Almighty One. Purport: There is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of the soul beyond the body. When Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as Lokayatikas by Bhashyakars. These philosophers maintain that license of soul takes place at a certain mature condition of material combination Modern material scientists and materialistic philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage, the lifetime will develop an interaction with physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo-religions now becoming fashionable in America are also adhering to this philosophy as well as to the nihilistic devotion to the sex. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in the Vaibhashika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging as prescribed duty. On the other hand, in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhashika philosophy, so-called soul or atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul, or whether he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished at every moment, there is no need to grieve for such an incident. However, since he was not risking the rebirth of the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected with sinful reactions due to his caring his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically refers to Mahaprabhu, mighty one, because he at least did not accept the theory of my Vaibhashikas, which believes beside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. So, this is, I was hearing a Prabhupada lecture at the time, and it was during the dishes. It was on this verse in particular, and Prabhupada was saying that there really is no need to lament, because if it was just a bunch of chemicals, and if it wasn't just a bunch of physical elements coming together and making a certain embryo or making a certain big bang, that we say, when would there be to lament? Because it's all going to go anyway. So it's kind of like this whole, live fast, die young kind of philosophy, in the sense that Krishna is saying that if there is no soul, then why do you worry? Why do you worry for something that isn't going to stick around for very long? It can be very nihilistic, but we know that Arjuna and Krishna especially, Krishna knows that this isn't true, and Arjuna knows as well. So they say that the soul does exist, and that the soul reincarnates after many, many lives. And after many, many lives, they become situated in the Trinity service. But in the discharge of one's duty, if one thinks of the soul as immutable, then there's obviously going to be a little bit of a cognitive dissonance, because the soul knows itself to be very much eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. So if we start to deny this to ourselves, then we get into a state of almost panic, because we don't know what we're doing in this world. and we don't know why we're doing these things. So therefore, we should strive to learn about the soul. We should strive to learn about his characteristics. We should strive to learn about all the things necessary to be able to cooperate with our soul, cooperate with our the super soul within the heart. And in that way, we can actually become free from these material bondages. And also become happy in the process. So this is a good verse on the whatever. So. Oh yes, Mayavadis. Mayavadis, they say that everything in this world is impersonal, and we can become one with God, and if we become one with God, then all our situations will be cleared out, finished, solved, all these things. And Prabhupada said it calls them Vaibhashikas. I don't know Vaibhashikas, but yeah, so Prabhupada calls them Vaibhashikas. And they're basically just impersonalists. And they are impersonalists. And so we have to defend against this very destructive philosophy, because if we allow it to seep into our own emotional service, then it becomes very difficult to discharge our prescribed duties. That's why Lord Chaitanya said that we should never hear words of an impersonalist Mayavadi, because their words are like giving milk to a snake. If you give milk to a snake, it only becomes more poisonous. So this is why we steer clear of the Mayavadis, because we know that they have misconceptions all about. They're written with misconceptions, and so are we. But at least we are trying to untangle ourselves from these misconceptions. But the Mayavadis, they simply keep on speculating. They simply keep on wanting to be God. They keep on wanting to overreach and become the supreme. It's said in the Sri Upanishad that for one who, I don't know if it's the same purport. Well, yeah. Anyway, so there was a purport and in the Sri Upanishad, and it was saying that in that purport, it was saying that Prabhupada was saying that we have to. The Mayavadis are so far gone in their speculations that they think themselves to be God, and that's really the worst off place you could be, because if we think ourselves to be God, then we're really completely in a different direction than what we're supposed to be doing. Say you have one street going one way, and you have the other. You have one street, and one way is this way, one way is forward, and then one way is backwards. And the Mayavadi, instead of going forward, they just totally go backwards. they're transcendentalists, but they have a total misconception about where to go and what to do, and what is the true position of the humanity. So what the Sri Upanishad was saying was that yeah, it says that the person who believes himself to be God is committing the greatest offense, the most gruesome offense, because his eternal position is to be a servant of God, not God himself. To be a servant. That's what's really our position. That's what really makes us happy. And that's what really makes Krishna happy. That's what makes God happy. God doesn't want us to think that we can be good, because we can't. We just can't. We are a little speck of gold in the gold mine, and Krishna is the entire gold mine. So how can a little speck become the entire gold mine? It's just not possible. One golden earring cannot become a whole gold mine. So therefore, it's very explicitly stated in the Sri Upanishad that those who think themselves to be God are committing the greatest sin, because everything they do is blasphemous towards the Lord. When you think yourself to be God, everything you do becomes blasphemous, because you think your way of doing things is the right way of doing things. And if anybody tells you differently, you go, "Oh, who is this person telling me? Who is this person to be telling me that I can't do something a certain way? I'm God. Why can't I do this? I'm God. God can do whatever he wants. God can engage in illicit sex. God can eat meat. God can intoxicate himself. God can gamble. God can do whatever he wants because he's God. But we're not. We're living entities. We're the marginal potency of Krishna. We're not Krishna himself. Krishna is Krishna's form stated in the Brahma Samhita that Krishna's form is eternal Sattva Ananda Vigra, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. But right now, our bodies, the bodies that we're using now, they're not spiritual bodies. If we had spiritual bodies, if we realize that we were servants of Krishna, we would have spiritual bodies. But we don't. We haven't. But our body right now is temporary, full of ignorance, and full of misery. Yeah. So how can we be God if these things are happening? If we're God, then how can we become anxious over a simple test? A simple test from high school, a simple test from college. If that puts us in anxiety, how can we be God? There's no way it can be God. So this is why we must defend against these values. Move on to the next. The one who is taken his birth, death is certain, and for one who is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Purport. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life. And after finishing one's one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next. In this way, the cycle of birth and death is revolving, one after the other, without liberation. This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in society for keeping law and order. The Battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or grieved at the death of his relatives, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, therefore, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of this, he did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reaction of sinful acts, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the wrong action. So this is nice. How about here saying that, you know, if we take our birth, then immediately reactions come with that. And since reactions come with that, there has to be birth, there has to be death. There has to be, since if there's birth, there has to be death. Prabhupada was saying, like, birth means death, and death means birth. But for one who has transcended this material world, these material modes, death is a kind friend to the devotee. For one who has conquered over death, death is actually a friend to the devotee. It's said somewhere. It says that to a devotee, death is like a kitten in the mouth of a cat, but to a non-devotee, death is like a rat in the mouth of a cat. So they're both in the mouth of a cat. One is comforted, one is caressed, and one is secured by its mother, rather than the rat who was afraid, who was taken aback, who knows his time is short. This is the difference between those who are dying as a devotee and those who are dying as a non-devotee. And then Prabhupada also says that the cycle of birth and death does not permit us to open slaughterhouses and kill other living entities and start wars and have pestilence, all these things. Because when we have war, what is it really? It's only suffering. There was a lecture. Prabhupada says that if you were killing a living entities like this, if you were the son of a father, and then you have a brother, and you see your brother is doing nothing good for the family. Maybe he's giving a bad name to the family. Maybe he's doing crime. Maybe he's just incompetent, or maybe he's just dull. There's so many things that could make a son unworthy of the father's heritage. But let's say we're saying to the father, "Oh, my dear father, this son of yours, he's not any good, so now we must kill him. Your father would say, no, why would you say that? Your brother has every right to live. But that's what we're doing with these living entities. That's what we're doing with these living entities. We're killing them, and then we're also eating them. But God is even the air, even the bacteria in the water, on the floor, all the germs, every one of them has the right to live, just like our brother has the right to live. And God is our supreme Father. And if we kill a living entity, then God will punish us for that, because it's his child, and he has every right to enjoy the material world as we do as well. So this is why we can't have slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouses are an absolute sin. I was talking with a devotee one day. I think it was today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. No, it might have been today. But the devotee was saying that the whole degradation of human society started because we started to kill animals with their flesh. And it makes sense. When you start to kill other animals, you start to lose a sense of, first of all, it's just, the meat is just filled with fear, because the animal died in fear. So the consciousness of that food product is tainted with fear. And so when we eat that, we become fearful. And what happens when we become fearful? What happens when we become anxious? Well, we lust over things. We lust over things a lot more easily. And when we lust over things, the fear in the meat gives us lust. Yes, that's how it's said in the Bhagavad Gita. From lust, from attachment to material sense objects, lust develops. And from lust, anger develops. And from anger, delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls again into the material world. So we can see how completely true this is, because we eat, let's say we eat meat, okay? We eat meat. We lust over that. We said, okay, I want a hamburger right now. Okay, so we had that desire. Then we had attachment for that meat. Okay, maybe, man, I really want that burger. I really want it so bad. It's killing me to not have this meat in my mouth. So there goes attachment. And then lust. Anger. If we don't get that burger, let's say somebody gets in our way. Who are you to tell me that I can't have a burger? Oh, you're getting too big. You're gaining too much weight. You might get cholesterol. You might get high cholesterol. You might get diabetes. And then you get angry. I've done this. Literally got angry because people have stopped me from eating fast food. But people get really upset. They say, who are you to tell me that I can't eat? I can do whatever I want. This is my life. This is my body. This is my world. This is my car. I can drive my car to where I'm going to do. Use my money how I want to do it. So you can see how this anger develops. And then, and then bewilderment of memory. The delusion arises. Delusion. Then you say, no, then you get upset because you made that other person upset, and now you're anxious again. Now you're totally anxious. So you're eating your hamburger. You're totally anxious, and now you hold them in a memory. Now you totally forget that you totally your memory is lost. No, your memory is bewildered. So when your memory is bewildered, then you say, "Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why we do these things." And then intelligence is lost, and then you get upset at the person. You get upset at the person, and then when you're upset at the person, then everything just falls apart. You get everything just falls apart. Just um, yeah. But anyway, everything just falls apart. You lose your memory, you lose your intelligence, and now you're angry at other people and now you're anxious because you just wanted to have a burger. That's what happens when we indulge in these sins. We put ourselves. It's really funny because I'm having some difficulty with this. When we put ourselves in these situations where it's difficult to get out of them. But that's because we like the ignorance. We like the ignorance. We like the taste of it. We like to sleep. There's nothing. We think that there's nothing better than eating meat or sleeping a little bit longer than usual. So we think that these things are enjoyable, and that's why we agree to do these things over and over and over again because we don't know also, and we also like it. So we don't think that there's anything better than, oh, I get to sleep 12 hours a day because I don't work. I mean, it's crazy, you know. And it's not even enjoyment. It's just relief from suffering. Even the relief from suffering is still suffering. Because if you do sleep for 12 hours, I promise you, you will not feel good. Because you could have done so much of your time, but instead you're sleeping. So this is why we must guard against ignorance. Because if we don't, then the whole thing will be lost. So I'll read some more purposes. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Therefore, accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul, and the other not believing in the existence of the soul. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet even if for argument's sake we accept the atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation apart from the separate existence of the soul. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of manifestation, just as from ether, air is generated, from air, fire is generated, from fire, water is generated, from water, earth is manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. And what causes their limitation, either in the stage of manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested state, things are not lost, both at the beginning and at the end. All elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested. And this does not make any real material difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, Nitya Shokta Sharirina, but that soul is eternal, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of the dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on the chariots. When we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of the non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of time. So, are there any comments or questions? No? Okay. Thank you for kindly hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.